I think to me, personally, community means the same as family. It means connection, it means helping, it means being there for each other. And coming from a country where community was very important, nobody was a stranger. Everybody was a family. And that's what community has. We have a saying that I think is well known that it takes a village or it takes a community to raise a child or to help each other to progress. My grandfather, who was blind, by the way, I think is my greatest hero as a human being. He was very, very progressive, even with sight loss. And he never felt that anything should be a deterrent. You just find out how you can overcome it and how you can get around it. We were left, that's me and my brother, by our parents when we were young. So I was 2, my brother was 6. And they obviously came to England to see what they can do for themselves and to get us back. But that meant that they left me until I was 9 and my brother was 13. So by that time, our grandparents became our parents, not only emotionally, but physically. They were just great. There was just a lot of love from them, from the uncles and aunties, a lot of encouragement, made sure that we get to school, which was hard. Just make sure that we were happy, had enough to eat, had enough care. So, yeah. As far as I understand, the Windrush generation came to England from different parts, quite a lot from Jamaica, Africa, different parts of the continent, after the Second World War. They had various ways that they were treated when they came here, even though they were invited, which was, some of it was very, very sad. You had quite a few that went back. And I remember one of the things that really affected me was to know that when some of them came, I don't know if you know Clapham Common, they had bunkers there. And for about, I think, 6 months or something, I could be wrong about the date, they were put in the bunkers until they could actually get somewhere to live, which I felt. And one of the things I also found out that I know everybody loves Winston Churchill, but I found out that he actually didn't make black people white-collar workers. So that means that when they came, they could only get manual work. They couldn't actually get the work of their profession. So if they were doctors and they were nurses, so et cetera, they had to actually start at a lower base. And there was quite a lot of resistance, I think, in that, as you say, you can change many things. You can change how you speak. You cannot change your color. And our color was one of the things that was used to suppress and keep us down. And I'm sad to say, it's still something that's happening. And one of the things that has happened lately is that Windrush generation, hidden, was being sent out of the country unfairly. And, medical help was kept from them. Being able to just use society. And I mean, I think, and even still now, we're still waiting for that to be addressed. And to me, it's just a similar thing to the post office. When I first came to the UK, it was cold. It was very cold. And things people don't know now is that you used to skate on ice, literally. It was so cold, the snow would fall, it dried up and it turned to ice. And you would get what is called chilblains, on your hands, on your feet, very itchy. That's what really got to me when I first came. And the educational system was fine. The year was, I was 9 going 10, so I was still in I wasn't in secondary school yet. So that was when I came. I think we lived in Kensington, and one of the things is that where we lived, the flat caught fire, and unfortunately, it's some sort of electrical wiring, and people were telling my mother to sort of faint. So when the when they come, they wouldn't ask her any questions, so she wouldn't have to answer any question. Yeah, so that was quite interesting. I remember the uprising, clearly the political reason behind it. I was too young to really sort of understand it very well. I do know that people were very upset. I don't know if it was to connect with a fire that happened. So people was very upset at the police actions, the government actions, which was really very little and was more going towards, that's what I remember, towards the community of blacks than it was trying to really find out and sort the situation out. And I think that brought frustration, and the frustration brought people to the streets. And I think it was necessary, and they did the best they can. But the thing is, you have reaction to an action, but then once that action is gone, the reaction stops, and then you almost slowly goes back to how things were. That's what I remember. My community now, I live in the Croydon area, I would say, but my community is wherever I have connection. One of the things, we have a sickle cell thalassemia support group, and we try to be there for family, but not just for the individual with the condition. We're there for all the family, and it's about trying to bring a holistic point of view to it. So some of the things we do, we can start with, like, if somebody with sickle cell doesn't have the money to get prescription, then we can help them for a year or 3 months, because you've got the prepaid ones that we can do. If children are then being born in hospital, we have baby pack. Adults go in hospital suddenly, we try to have a pack for them. Obviously, COVID has changed a lot of what we used to do. We used to bring them in food and so forth, but that's changed. But we still try to be as connected as we can be. We'll go out to visit. We used to have a children's Christmas party, but that is being, as I said, because of COVID. We used to bring basket or, of food to individuals that we think may need it during the Christmas period. I think we're involved with groups like CAVCO, which is a Caribbean group. We're involved with quite a few churches that gives us donations. So, we just try to be there for everybody, open for everybody. I might have missed some things that somebody else can mention, but... Right, I didn't just jump into it, because what happened, I have sickle cell myself. And if you don't know a lot about sickle cell, there's different sort of groups. So I'm SC, that means that I don't have any normal, things. So, and then I happen to have a child who has SS. So when we moved to Croydon, I went to the support group because to just learn about how to look after her. And we have what is called a model and toddler group, which is run by specialist nurses. And they teach you how to check for the spleen, how to understand if the child is uncomfortable, because really the blood doesn't turn over to the adult blood until they're about 1, but they could present problems before that. So that was really educational for me, to just learn and to be in a place where I know people have got the knowledge and help me through that. Because even though I was an older parent, I haven't actually gone through the process for a child I've gone through, which is the process for myself in a sense. So once I did that, I just sort of drifted into the support group, and you was encouraged to just go over and then connect with other mothers, connect with what's going on to support each other within the community. So that's how I got. And I realized that sicklers, there was very little really, with the medical profession, they're good. They've kept me alive. I'm not taking that from them. But there was very little for sicklers, very little really understanding in sort of doctor's surgery. They will send you to the center, actually. And, the knowledge that was so lacking after, sickle cell was known for about 100 years. Even still lacking, I'm sorry to say, but having that process where I'm with specialist nurses that understood more about the condition and about what to do. And don't get me wrong, doctors have been very encouraging, very supportive, and, very sort of be there for you medically, but you get the sort of mental support within the support group and with the specialist nurses. I don't know if I can give any wisdom, because I think young people feel that we don't have any wisdom to pass on. But the one thing I've learned for myself is not to be ashamed of me or to be ashamed of what I am. Everything is part of me. And I don't try to fight it. I just understand it's part of me. And I have got to learn how to live with it, how to cope with it. And not only that, how to be happy and understand that I still have a life to live. It doesn't define me. It doesn't make me incapable. It doesn't restrain me mentally, And that's all I can say, because you still have a life to live. And I always say, don't let a book define you. Let you write your own book. This is quite interesting. It's quite nice. I'm sorry if I don't get things out the way I would, but I think you're doing a great job. I think this is nice to be in the community, encouraging young people and making young people part of what you do. That can only really just make them grow and make them develop and make them understand they have capabilities that they don't think they have, and that the world, people like yourself and my mind there, are willing to make that effort to make them see themselves differently.